What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I want to talk about something that I feel like a lot of people struggle, and myself in the beginning, even now sometimes we want to shoot that perfect video. We want to shoot that perfect content all the time. And I think that holds us back from actually starting to create content, actually starting to put out the work that we want to put out, because we feel like days with the quality of videos that everybody's putting, then I feel like, or at least I used to feel like, well, my quality has to match that. The things that I put out has to be so good, or else nobody's gonna want to watch it. And I think the reality that we're in today's day and age, it doesn't matter as much as we think it actually does, because people just want value content, right? They want to actually, if they're gonna give their time, which is one of the most precious things that we have, they want to get value from the videos that they're watching, right? I wanted to make this video to get you over the hump of overthinking that whole every piece of video that or every piece of content that I post has to be perfect, because the reality is it doesn't have to be. And if you keep thinking about, oh, it has to be perfect every single time that I go post, then one, that fear can hold you back, and eventually you're not going to post the content because you think it has to be perfect all the time. Two, you're not going to get after your goals. You're not going to get after the things that you wanted to do that you should be creating content about, because the fear of, oh, every time I post a piece of content has to be perfect. So I just want to give you some tips, and hopefully by the end of the video, maybe you have a little flip switch and you start posting that content. And as you guys know, I like to post content about having a full-time job and posting content. That's mainly what my content has been about lately, because that is the phase that I'm in right now. I'm trying to balance posting content with my full-time job and being a high performer at my job, and also trying to do at least 2 videos a week, which I have to say, lately it has been somewhat of an issue because a lot of things have been going on. However, I don't want that to be an excuse as to why I'm not posting content. All right, so let's get into the video. The first tip that I want to talk about is focus on the message and not the flaws. And what do I mean by that? If you focus on the flaws, even before you start recording, then you're going to be thinking throughout the entire time, oh, maybe that's not the right camera angle, or maybe the light wasn't bright enough. Whenever you catch yourself, you're just nitpicking at this little things that don't really matter, then you just try to stop yourself, acknowledge, I'm worrying about this too much. Let me just carry on with the message that I have to tell my audience, because one, that's what they're here for, and two, just overthinking about those things is not really going to help you much. So focus on the message that you're going to bring to your audience, focus on what you're going to say to your audience. Let the other things, worry about the other things in the post edit, I would say. And even then, I wouldn't let it bother you so much. When you bring value content, people don't really care so much about the lighting or the right camera angle. I've watched videos where the quality is not the best, it's not 4K, and the lighting is not the best. However, the message that they have to say and that the things that they were saying made me just keep watching the video, because the value was so good, the content was so good. So those are one of those things in the beginning, especially if you have a full-time job. Sometimes you may be trying to rush your content, and I think people find that that is so genuine. Maybe you're like, hey, I only have 5 minutes, but I want to talk about this today. And I think people realize, they know that you have a full-time job, so they know you're probably going to be rushed. So they would more than likely appreciate the fact that you actually put out a piece of content that gave them value, than if you didn't. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Next time you're thinking about, should I post this piece of content, just focus on what you're going to say. Focus on trying to get the message out there, and then focus about the little things later, such as the lighting, the camera angle. Obviously, they have to be good. However, don't make that your main focus of your video. Another tip that I have for you is post and walk away. Now, this one might be difficult in the beginning to get started, but once you start posting, then I want you to post and walk away. I don't want you to look at your metrics. I don't want you to look at any of that, because one, you're just starting out. So the likelihood of you having a lot of views and a lot of likes and a lot of comments right off the bat is very little, right? Let's be honest. Why would you get frustrated and just keep refreshing like the YouTube Studio app just to see what the views are like, or what the likes are like, or what the comments are like right after you post a video? One, you're wasting a lot of time, and two, you're just getting frustrated because more than likely the number is going to be very low, and it doesn't really benefit you in any way, shape, or form. Now, what I do recommend is after a few hours past post, then you can come back and check it. Then you can come back and see, do I have any views? Do I have any likes? Do I have any comments? And then you can reply to those comments. You can start interacting with your community. But as soon as you post, and I've been through that myself, I'll post and then I'll keep watching. Oh, did I get, how many views did I get? Did I get any comments? Did I get any likes? And more than likely, it doesn't really happen like that. So I don't want you to get so caught up in the views and the likes and the comments right after you post, because one, you're just gonna be scrolling and you're just gonna be refreshing for no reason, and two, it's just gonna, I don't know, I think it could be a little disappointing, especially in the beginning when you're just starting out. Post, forget, and come back to it hours later. Another thing that I want you to do, especially if you have a full-time job, is set a standard for good enough. I don't want you to post whatever and just be like, oh, that was good enough. I'll post that and we'll see what happens. That's not the attitude that I want you to have. However, I do want you to have an attitude of, I have my priority list. I have things that I need to do. I'm gonna make 3 hours for my content. I'm gonna dedicate for one YouTube video. I'm gonna dedicate 1, 2, 3 hours, 30 minutes, whatever time you have. And I want to hit these goals. I want to hit this. I want my message to be clear. Two, I want my audience to be engaged through this video. And three, this is the outcome that I'm trying to get. And if you hit those three goals, for or whatever goals for yourself, then that should be your good enough standard. That should be like, I did this, I feel good, I accomplished this, I feel confident that this video is going to be, I did a really good job, I did a good enough job, and I'm going to carry on. Give yourself a little pat in the back and say, this is good enough. I'm just starting to create content. This is good enough for me now. As I get better, then I'll set the standard a little bit higher. But I feel like in the beginning, if you're like, again, for going back to the first tip that I gave you, if you're trying to make everything perfect, then you're just gonna get frustrated and you're just gonna feel like a little bit down because, oh, I didn't hit the goal and the quality that I wanted. So set a good enough standard, and then once you hit that standard, I feel like that is also going to help you with your momentum, because you're gonna feel like, I did this, yeah, I actually posted that video. Oh, I did it exactly how I said I was gonna do it. I did it with good quality. I had the message. I conveyed the message that I really wanted to convey. Now, how can we get to the next level? And in the beginning, especially, that's going to help you build that momentum that eventually is going to get you to stick around into creating more videos, instead of just trying to achieve that perfect video that you want to get and that you might not get in the beginning. And instead of you getting distracted and getting down on yourself, then you're just going to build that momentum, which eventually will take you to that quality of video that you want to create, or that quality of content that you want to create. The last tip that I have for you is remind yourself you're in this for the long game. So what I want you to do is, I want you to remind yourself this is a journey. This is something that you're learning. If you have a full-time job, if you've been an employee your entire life and you're just getting started into content creation, don't expect to be perfect overnight. That doesn't really happen so much. So if it does happen and you do make it happen, congrats, that's awesome, keep crushing it. However, don't expect perfectionism since the beginning. Don't expect to be a million views overnight. Seldom does that happen, right? So think about it. I'm in this for the next 5 to 10 years. Who knows? Is that your mentality? Is that what you're trying to achieve? Give yourself some time to perfect your video editing, to give yourself time to perfect your script, give yourself time to perfect whatever story you're trying to convey. And as time goes by, you will post better quality content. You will post better pictures, better stories, whatever it is. Just give yourself time. This is a journey. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So get after it. Keep posting your videos. Keep thinking. Keep focusing on the things that you can control. Don't focus on the things that you can control, because if you have a full-time job, which I'm assuming a lot of the people that are watching my videos do, then just finding the time to create videos can be a hassle sometimes. So if on top of everything that you have to do with your life, and now you're adding on something else, you're trying to aim for perfection straight from the start, then that could be a little overwhelming, and that can eventually lead to you know what, maybe this is not for me. And then all the dreams and all the things that said that you wanted to achieve, and all the goals that you have for yourself are just going down the drain. So don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some time. Try to perfect it as time goes by, and good things will come. So just keep crushing it, keep getting after it, and I'll catch you on the next one.